happened when I was 15 years old. I was a really wild child, and one random Friday or Saturday night, my friend Josie had come over to my house. We had spent most of the afternoon in my front yard doing gymnastics and shit. While we were cartwheeling through the grass, this old pickup truck drove past, slowing down as he got closer. The man in the truck turning to stare as he rolled by. Seriously, I remember watching it because people normally fly down the rural road I live on, not slow down. We joked that the man, a guy with a baseball cap on his face, was hidden by the shadow of it, save for a very long and scraggly gray beard, was obviously checking out our pubescent bodies, and quickly forgot about it. Later that night, we had made plans to sneak out of my house to see Josie's boyfriend. It was super easy to do. My dad's bedroom was on the opposite side of the house, so he wouldn't hear us. And my bedroom window was really tall and only about 3 to 4 feet off the ground, along with the fact that it had no screen, so sneaking out was as easy as walking out the back door. We had gotten outside and we were walking around the front of my house to sit on the porch and wait for Josie's boyfriend to get us when I noticed something in the cornfield across from my house. It looked like a rusty pickup truck and a windshield glinting slightly in the moonlight, and the tiny light of what could have been a cell phone or camera lighting up in the interior of a car. A scraggly beard barely visible in the glow. Immediately, my heart just sunk. It was most definitely the truck that had driven past us earlier, and it was sitting in the field, facing my house. I nudged Josie and pointed it out to her, and we both pretended not to notice. Maybe he was a farmer. We decided after a minute, or a guy getting ready to go hunting. We smoked a cigarette while we waited and continued ignoring the truck, despite the fact that I could almost feel him staring. I had been keeping my eyes on the road, watching for Trent, when we both heard this horrible groaning sound coming from the field. The guy in the truck was opening his very creaky, squeaky door, climbing out of his truck. "Let's just wait inside," I said as the man started walking towards the road, towards us, his hands behind his back. Josie quickly agreed, and we made a mad dash back around my house, and I could hear the man starting to pick up the pace behind us, his shoes now crunching on the gravel road. Luckily, I had left my bedroom window open, so we bolted through it and I slammed it shut, locking it just as a shadowy figure appeared at the glass. I closed the curtains and Josie turned off my light, and we sat huddled in the dark as she texted her boyfriend what was going on. And we sat there. We heard him tap on the glass, scratchy noises like he was running his fingernails up and down. We both started crying, debating whether to call 911 or not. I didn't want to wake my dad up, since Trent had called us in the meantime, saying he was only a minute away and would handle it. Burly redneck boys for the win. And Dad would kill us if he had gone outside to find an intruder, only to have a random boy we invited over to join in the ass-kicking. After what seemed like forever, the sound of tapping ahead turned into desperate scraping, as though he was trying to get his fingers under the wooden windowsill. Then headlights. Trent, who had snuck over to my house a time before, had driven into the yard, his headlights lighting up my yard and the man standing at the window. There was no more scraping, and Trent's massive truck backed out of the yard a second later. He called us to let us know that the guy had just bolted to his truck, which was confirmed as we heard the screeching of tires on the road a second later. Josie and I cried with relief. At that point, I was too afraid to leave my house, so I let Josie out with her heroic bow. She froze when she climbed out of the window, hands shaking as she reached down for something I couldn't see. Her blonde hair was hiding her hands. "Holy shit," she whispered, holding something up for me to see. A fucking huge hunting knife. The tip bent slightly. At the bottom of my windowsill were deep gouge marks, where I'd been trying to pry the window open. She climbed back inside and Trent joined us, the three of us taking turns staying up until it was nearly daylight and Trent had to leave. We never heard from or saw Mr. Scragglybeard again, and I moved a couple years later, so the odds are we will never meet again.